You're listening to the CVS show on Phonic FM 106.8, bringing news from the voluntary and community sector in Exeter. Exeter CVS runs the local volunteer centre, offers affordable learning in IT, management and personal development, and gives membership support to charities and community groups across the city. Visit www.exetercvs.org.uk or call 01392 20 20 55 to find out more.
Of show of hands, and you are listening to that amazing radio station, Phonic FM.
Yes, you are listening to Phonic FM. Rhonda's watching me here, kind of like, just like trying to press every button to make sure I'm here. I was about 1 second late, wasn't I?
That's it, that's right. Not too bad at all.
No, it's not too bad.
On the dot.
Okay, and I'm just going to see if you say hello to us, Rhonda.
Oh, hi.
Okay, I'm going to try and sort of find out what the best microphones are.
Good afternoon.
No, that's sounding good. Okay. And we're going to be talking about the Children's Society project that we've talked about it before, haven't we?
Quite a few times, and I really appreciate you having me back, John. Thank you.
No, it's really good. It's something we're very enthusiastic about. And just to give a bit of background, it's Torbay Checkpoint.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's for the Children's Society, and it's an independent visitor role.
Yeah.
So just give us an overview of the role itself, of what the volunteer would be doing.
Okay, well, the idea is that we train a volunteer, people from all walks of life, of all ages. We get them in, interview them, rigorous and robust recruitment procedure, and we hopefully are finding people who are really interested to support a young person who needs a bit of extra support, who hasn't maybe got contact with their family, who's in care, and are basically a bit isolated.
And this could be anywhere in Devon, couldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, young people in Torbay who unfortunately get taken into care do so for many reasons, but often they can get moved out of their area. So we may have young people in Somerset, in South Devon, in Mid Devon, in East Devon, and what we need is volunteers across the region so we can train them up and match them with a young person who they'll get on with really well, so that they can meet once a month, have fun, and that young person's got someone to listen to them, someone to take an interest in them and be there just for them, not someone in a paid role.
Exactly, because I think that's something that you guys have obviously identified, is that this young person has their care family or their care home.
That's right.
And then they have social workers, people who are kind of official, really, aren't they?
Yeah, and unfortunately these roles may change, so they may have several social workers, within a year or a year and a half. And obviously what we're trying to provide with a trained, experienced volunteer is someone who's consistent, reliable, will see them every month for those 4 or 5 hours and have fun together.
Fun stuff. So that's what it's about. So how's it been going? Because it's been going for 2 years now.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we're really delighted to say we reached our target of 20 matches of young people and volunteers, but then unfortunately we lost a couple of volunteers to no fault of their own.
Okay.
So we're just about to start our round 5 of recruitment, because we've got about 8 young people waiting to be matched, and we've got 18 young people matched at the moment, and we really want to get
figures.
I mean, I was surprised, being as I've got a background in volunteer management. I didn't think it would take that long. It has taken that long, but it's been worth the wait, because these matches, these relationships are quality.
Yeah.
And I've just been delighted to see how the relationships have bloomed between the young person and and the volunteer, and how much they've got out of it.
Yeah. I mean, I remember we first talked about it on the show, and I think you were aiming for 7.
Yeah.
And even though that might not sound a big number, I can imagine it's actually quite a difficult process, because it's a total kind of training, filtering and matching process, isn't it?
Most definitely. I mean, these volunteers can be working with some of society's most vulnerable young people, and what we're trying to do is make sure these volunteers are trained, they're up for it, they're motivated, and they can commit for hopefully a 2-year period, because the idea is we want that consistency for the young person, because of the nature of, they need that support, and other things in their life are more transitory. And so we really need to enable that volunteer to feel confident in their role, to feel able to have an understanding of the care system, to understand about safeguarding issues that may come up, but most of all to be a trusted adult to listen to that young person.
Yeah, and quite often, as we've said before, listening is actually involved in doing something interesting together.
Yeah.
And that image that you gave me before, where it could be just doing an activity together, not even sort of sitting chatting, but that's when conversations happen. That's when they might say something that's quite significant, and they know that this is an adult they can trust.
Yeah, you get 10 out of 10 for that, John. Your memory is fantastic. Well done, you. Yeah, no, it really is. And I mean, if I look at the motivations of the volunteers, I mean, what I really want is more men.
Okay.
I want men to stand up for the challenge. I want people who are listening today to go, I know a man who's a positive role model who could give 4 or 5 hours a month to support a young person in care. And often some of the motivations of our volunteers come from they've had a difficult time or moments in their life where they were growing up, or maybe they didn't have a positive role model in their life, whether that be a female or male, and they'd like to give back, really try and help someone, and that really does. It's admirable, but also we have people who join because they've got all these skills and they just feel like, I'm wasting my time. I need to really do something worthwhile. And they really, the volunteers really look forward to it. It's not a chore for them. It's not a hassle for them. They do a bit of planning. They contact the young person or the carer, and they go out and they have fun. Sometimes it's a bit challenging, of course. That's part of it. But the rewards you get from it are outstanding.
It is. I mean, it's in my top 3, really, of the volunteer opportunities that are ultimately rewarding. I can only think of one of the other 2, 3, and that's Stephanie's appropriate adult scheme.
Great, totally, right there with you. Yeah,
which probably ties in. You probably there was links
definitely.
There, and I think that's important. There was something somebody said a few years ago where what you need once you've got all your own personal things catered for, so you've got sort of money and somewhere to live and all those bits and bobs. Then the 2 things you need to do is something meaningful.
That's correct.
And something creative. And so there are people out there who have got skills to share. They might have something creative. They might be into cooking, gardening, writing music, or whatever it is. But then this is their chance to do something like really meaningful.
Yeah.
And so what's the feedback been like from the volunteers over the last year or so?
Firstly, I am really proud to say my line manager and I, Jane, have provided such good training that part of it's been reviewed, it's been assessed, and basically it's excellent. The feedback, the volunteers love it. They said it's some of the best training they've ever had, and many of them have done safeguarding training in different guises before, and they've said ours is really good. I'm delighted to hear that. Now, I saw a volunteer yesterday for supervision, and he said it's been amazing because it's on his CV. It's going to help him get a job.
Oh, gotcha.
We've had several volunteers that have moved on in their career due to doing training with us, and sort of gone sideways, come out of their normal sort of work, normal career, and done something in a more supportive role, which is great to hear.
It is great to hear,
it's fantastic. And some of our volunteers have joined us because they've had support from our project 20 years ago.
Oh, really?
And that just blows your mind. So they had support. It turned their life around when they were in a difficult position. And this particular young woman I'm thinking of really was having a hard time. She dropped into our project. She got support. I think it was 19 years ago or so. And now she's volunteering. And she's been matched with her young person for 2 years. Yes, because we've been running the project for just over 2 years. And the young person was moved out of county. They were in Somerset. They were alienated from their family. They didn't have the support they needed. They didn't have someone they could trust, someone who was interested in them. And now that need's been fulfilled. And they meet, they spend some time together. Sometimes the volunteer does a bit of troubleshooting and helps the young person with some major stuff that's going on in their life. Sometimes they just hang out.
Okay.
But it's wonderful.
Most of once the match has been made, and most of them start off just with the hanging out. Let's just go for a coffee and a chat. Let's go and go karting or whatever.
Cinema, bowling. I mean, occasionally some of the girly girls do something a little bit different. They save up their little budget of money and they've gone and got their nails done.
Oh, right, yeah.
And they've timed it really well because they've done it just before prom.
Right, okay. Ideal, yeah.
A little bit wily, but it's definitely worked, you know. Yeah, and sometimes they've gone to the Devon County show and so on. And often we try and enlist people's help and ring up cinemas and so on and see if we can get a discount. And obviously we really appreciate that when people support us in that way.
It is, I mean, it's lovely when people do. We used to do that with the gardening group. And we sort of take them all bowling and give whatever it's called down at the Kia.
Yeah.
Cool, and they'd sort us out, okay, so people might be listening and thinking, well, I want to know more about this. how does the process work for them?
Okay, so what happens is, what I really like is people to ring me or email me, and I try and get back to them as soon as possible, and we have a chat about what they're into and the whole process, because, as I said, it is rigorous and robust. So we start off with a phone call, then if they're interested and the dates and everything fits in with them, then I send them out some information. They have to review it, and then if they're interested, they fill in the paperwork and send it back, and we arrange for an informal interview down at Checkpoint.
Okay.
Now, it may seem, it's a bit of an effort to go to Torquay, but once you've been there and you've had your interview and you're happy and and we're happy, then often I'll come out to you for supervision and support. Okay. And the training we hold in Newton Abbot, and that's normally over 5 sessions.
Yeah, so that's a nice sort of halfway between everyone.
That's the idea. I try and be really fair, and I've got a great supermarket there that support me with a free training room. Okay. And the volunteers do love to shop in that supermarket before and after training.
Okay.
So like a little extra bonus there. And then during the training, I'm assessing the volunteers, and they're assessing what they think of the course. Yeah, what they think of what we're doing. You know, does anything freak them out? Do they think this is a bit difficult? Can we talk about recording, safeguarding, and some of the difficult experiences these young people will go through? Then at the end of the training, they'll get a certificate, and then I'll write a report on them. Each volunteer would do a report on themselves, like a picture of them, a pictorial report of them holding their dog, skiing, playing ball, with a piece of pottery they've made, for example. And that would be the profile that would go to the young person when we're offering that volunteer to a young person.
Oh, okay.
And then it goes to panel, and you're thinking, my God, I've got to go over all this? Well, it's worth it. Yeah. And the idea is we have a leader from a social worker leader from one of the social work teams of Children's Services, a care experienced young person, my boss, and a programme manager, and they read through the reports, and we discuss each volunteer and about their merits. And basically I go around volunteers' house and I spend an hour and a half talking to them about what motivates them. What are some of their memories that are positive or negative in their life when they were growing up, and it gives me an understanding of what their motivations are and how I can best match them to a young person who most needs them.
So that matching process has got to be very, very carefully done.
It really has, and sometimes that can take a bit of time. So after they've been approved by the panel, they sit in a IV independent visitor pool for a while. Until I find the right volunteer, right young person for that volunteer, because you need to make it very carefully, looking at their interests, looking at their personalities, and trying to get that right match, because then it can be a long-lasting, worthwhile match.
Exactly, it's got to be the right one.
Yes.
So if somebody was to be joining the next cohort of training, and so what's the time scale of that? When are you hoping to do the training?
Right, well, what I'd like to do is I'd really like to have 20 or so volunteers to get on board, because I do understand that sometimes people, look at the training, get involved, and then things come up from them which are beyond their control. So the more I get, then a few of them might deselect themselves. Okay? So I'd kind of like to start training in mid to late April. Okay? Over 5 sessions, and I'd like to be matching young people at the end of May.
Right, that's quite a quick turnaround.
I've got young people waiting. I'm getting more referrals in, and I really want to. I've been doing this for a couple of 2.5 years now, so I've got the training down to a pat. We know it's good. We know it works. And we know the score now. We've been doing it for for a long time, and we've got lots of exciting things going on. We've got our investors in people, investors in volunteers award.
Wonderful.
We're really proud of that, and we're working with other organisations to improve the independent visitor standards and try and make it more well known across the country, so that more young people in care can get that support they need and be offered an independent visitor volunteer.
Definitely, because you've been on to, was it a training course or a conference recently where you...
Yeah, that's right. I was up in Birmingham last week, and I was just bowled over by the enthusiasm of all the other independent visitor volunteers that I met. And we're really, there's going to be a launch in London, and basically we're going to say to the MPs and Parliament, hey, look at this. We need more funding, we need more support, and more young people should be offered this service, because they need it, and the difference to their lives is incredible.
Because wasn't there an independent report about 1998, about that time, about every young person should... Or no, it was 1980s, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, what it was is the Children Act, 1989, I think it is, said that all children with little, no or poor quality contact with their family who have been in care for over a year should be offered an independent visitor.
Right.
And what's happened is advocacy, which is supporting young people in care with someone to speak on their behalf, or about what's going on in their lives and what their education and what their health's like. That went through a revolution as it was, and so the independent visitor service across the country and all these different charities and organisations that are delivering it, we're just about to go through that revolution ourselves.
Brilliant.
And the idea is then we're going to be bigger, stronger, and hopefully be able to reach more young people, which is what our ultimate aim is.
That is absolutely fantastic. Shall we have a bit of a break and have some music?
Go for it.
The CVS show on Phonic FM. Find out more about community and voluntary work in Exeter at www.exetercvs.org.uk. Visit us weekdays 9:30 to 4:30 on King William Street, or call 01392 20 20 55.
Yeah, that's the number of the tour. We just did a brief musical break there because Rhonda has got to go off and meet a volunteer, haven't you?
Yeah, that's
right.
Obviously, part of our support of our volunteers is meeting them regularly, catch up with them, find out how they are, look at their training needs, and find out if they've got any worries or concerns. Keep in touch with them, take care of them, basically.
Yeah, and for people who are sort of thinking about this, the reason I was asking about the timescales earlier on is if you go through the process and it's all going well and the panel approves you, and you get to the end of May and you haven't been matched, then that's not a problem. It doesn't mean anything's wrong.
No, not at all.
It just means the right match isn't there yet.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we expect a young person to pop up in a certain area, or they were there and then they get moved or something. So we need to be aware that we need to have a little bit of patience.
Yeah. So the commitment is once a volunteer's been matched, is every other week?
Well,
96 hours a year.
Yeah,
that's the phrase.
I mean, the idea is it's just maybe 3 or 4 hours once a month. We don't want to, take over the young person's life by going, "Oh, hello, I'm here again."
They do
have other things to do. But once a month, sometimes twice a month is ideal.
Okay.
And most of us can manage 4 hours a month to do something to support someone else.
And looking at the volunteers who have successfully gone through this, then it has enhanced their lives in every way.
Yeah.
So whether it's just personally, emotionally, sort of for themselves, but also career-wise, it's helped.
Most definitely. And the thing is there's funny little things that happen, like when a volunteer suddenly decides that, okay, I'm gonna make this decision. I'm gonna join. I'm gonna be part of a young person's life, and then they're faced with, oh my God, I've got to go to the cinema and see children's films, and they go, oh my God, I didn't know it was going to be this hard. How am I going to sit through it? And then they've developed a love of children's films.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, I never thought that would happen. It's just hilarious. And then sometimes when we have the young person and a volunteer come and attend the training session to introduce themselves, so that some of the potential new volunteers can ask them questions, and they're sitting there in front of these new volunteers, and you watch their body language and they're mirroring each other.
Oh, yeah.
And you go, oh, they're so cute together.
Yeah.
It's just so nice to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It really is. It literally warms your heart.
Yeah.
And if anyone out there knows someone who they think could be a great positive role model for someone else, for a young person who, is in need, is vulnerable, and who's isolated from their family and maybe from the area they know, tell them about this opportunity. Independent visitor volunteer. It's a great opportunity and it's really worthwhile.
Definitely. Okay, so people need to get in touch with you, and you're quite happy for people to just start off with a chat with no commitment. I mean, people,
of course, yeah.
People, as we said, deselect themselves over this process. So people might get to the training stage and think, well, actually, no, this really isn't for me.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
That's absolutely fine. I'd rather people approach me and let's chat about it, rather than go, oh no, it isn't for me, because it really is interesting.
Okay.
It's really good fun, and it's something that's doable.
Right. So how do they start then? We're giving you a call?
They can give me a call on 01803 290 330.
Okay.
Or they can email me, rhonda.jones@childrensociety.org.uk.
Yeah.
Or they can contact any volunteer centre in the area, but preferably the Exeter Volunteer Centre.
Yes.
And that's 01392 202 055.
That's it, exactly, yes, yeah. Give us a shout, look on our website, and we'll put all the details up as well.
That'd be great, thank you.
So ideally we want to get about 20 people together to start doing training in about a month's time.
Yeah, and obviously more men.
Okay, more men needed.
Men. We want women, but we want men. Or active women. Booked women.
Okay,
We want people from all walks of life. who are motivated and can care for a young person by visiting them and spending time with them once a month.
Okay, it's quite a sporty year. We've got the Rugby World Cup coming up.
Oh, yeah, not half.
So if there's any guys out there who are into watching their sport, who are into their rugby, and they think, actually, I could share this with someone who could really appreciate me doing it.
Oh, that's exactly what... Funny enough, I was talking to my HQ this morning, a lovely girl called Venetia up there, and I was saying, hey, I need help with a campaign. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and get some posters done up saying, are you man enough?
Yeah, good one.
Yeah? Can you take up the challenge to support a young person?
Yeah.
And then hopefully we're going to get them out to sports clubs, rugby clubs, football clubs, gyms,
Brilliant
etc.
idea.
You know, because we need to do it. You know, we have a lot of young people in care, and of course we have a number of young boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely get in touch with the Exeter City Football Club because they're brilliant community people.
Definitely.
And they'll help, definitely, yeah. Good stuff.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for being on the show, Rhonda.
Thank you very much, John. Really appreciate it, and good luck with the rest of the show.
Okay, thank you. Oh, yes. The sound of the castanets heralds the volunteering opportunities for the week commencing Monday the 16th of March 2015. First one says, can you meet and greet? If so, then Palace Gate Counselling Service is looking for several people to cover their reception desk. If you can welcome in a friendly manner and enjoy helping with light office work and telephone duties, then give Susan Hewitt a call on Exeter 01392 205804. And did see Susan last Friday. She came to our volunteer organisers forum, and she did have a couple of people all trained up doing a wonderful volunteering job, but then they had to leave. They had to go off, and I think they got jobs actually. So she is now recruiting and looking again. So if you think you can spare some time to help Palace Gate Counselling Service, then give her a call, 205804. Next one's a brand new one. This is a word to the wise. Have you experienced yourself or lived with someone who has a problem with alcohol? If so, then Add Action's Drink Wise Age Well project wants to create a healthier relationship with alcohol for adults who are over 50 by recruiting volunteers to act as local planning group members. They can also be peer supporters and volunteers and befrienders. And it's all about spreading the Drink Wise Age Well message. So if you think you can help, then give Stephanie Chivers a call on 07814 223379. And I was talking to Stephanie earlier on today, and she is going to come onto the show probably about a month's time. Wants to get a group of people together who are going to help move this project forward and actually support the people who need the help. So give Steph a call, 07814 223379. The next one rather cheekily says, you don't need balls to volunteer. At Hospice Care's Fugby 12k Walk for Men, just a willingness to help out and make this brand new event a success. If you can help with marshalling the route and organising the pints and pasties, then give Lucy Hancock a call on 01392 688062 to try out for a role. Mentioned this earlier on, if you're not actually going on the walk, then why not go and help out on the day anyway? It's all raising money for hospice care, and it's a brilliant idea, and this is the first time they've done this fundraising event. Really want to make it a success, so do give them a call, 688062. Next one says, something for the weekend. If you have some spare time at weekends, then Chapter 1 Charity Limited needs people to be the first point of contact for visitors to their office. Involves answering the door and the telephones, welcoming families, and undertaking general office duties. So if you have good people, admin and IT skills, then give Marie Collier a call on 01392 491 902 to get involved. Next one says, are you handy with a hoe? If so, then Age UK Exeter needs green-fingered volunteers to undertake gardening and maintenance of an allotment plot that's going to be used by the Linking Lives group. So if you are friendly and safety conscious, have good knowledge of horticulture, and this is their words, not mine, and could manage a basic polytunnel erection, then give Dawn McGeorge a call on 01392 20 20 92. I'll just do a quick roundup of those. Palace Gate Counselling, Susan Hewitt there really needs someone to come and help out and do their reception desk. Just be friendly, a bit of light office work, telephone duties. Give Susan a call on 01392 20 58 04. Brand new project, Drink Wise, Age Well, aimed at creating a healthy relationship with alcohol for adults over 50. So if you want to get involved right at the beginning of that project and do volunteering, peer supporting, be a part of their group, and be involved in the planning of it all, then give Stephanie Chivers a call on 07814 223379. Hospice Care would love people to come along and help out on the day for their Fugby 12K walk. So give Lucy Hancock at Hospice Care a call on 01392 688 062, and that's based marshalling the route itself, but also based up at the City Ground as well. Chapter 1 Charity Limited does a brilliant service for families. So if you can help out at the weekends, they really need people to come and do answering their door, being their sort of reception and doing some general office work for them. Give Marie a call on 01392 491 902. And Dawn McGeorge at Age UK, they've got a brand new project, managing an allotment for the Linking Lives group. So if you're safety conscious, good at horticulture, want to help people work the garden, and you can manage a basic polytunnel erection, then give her a call on 01392 20 20 92. There's plenty going on at the moment, loads of volunteer opportunities coming in all the time, so give us a call at the Volunteer Centre on 2020 55, visit exetercvs.org.uk or pop in and see us.
When you fall in love, you fall in love.
You've been listening to the CVS show on Phonic FM. The show was produced by John Stammers and Nick Kiss for Exeter CVS. For more information about any of the issues raised in this programme, visit www.exetercvs.org.uk, email cvs@exetercvs.org.uk, call 01392 20 20 55, or visit us weekdays 9:30 to 4:30 on King William Street. Exeter CVS is a registered charity supporting the community and voluntary sector in Exeter.